The first thing we want to talk about are things that are common to all the measurements that we're doing. We want to talk about the distance that the devices should be from other objects. First of all, the floor. We want to get an idea of what the radon concentrations are in the breathing zone. So there are many different definitions for this, but we're basically going to work with 20 inches from the floor to about 8 feet, somewhere in the breathing zone, the general breathing zone. So the first thing we want to do is we need to find some place to put our device that is at least 20 inches off the floor. And we can see some objects and we can talk about them. Here's a garbage can turned over that we could put it on, and we could place our device there on top of it, and we could say, well, gee, that's at least 20 inches off the floor. But is it really? Why not measure and find out exactly how far off the floor it is? And you could record exactly how far off the floor it is, or you could record that it is at least 20 inches off the floor. Now, this becomes a problem sometimes of where you're going to place it. What are you going to place it on in someone's home if the home's vacant? There's not a stick of furniture in the place. So you might think about taking something with you that you know is at least 20 inches tall and place it on that. So it's got some place to go when you get there. Now, if there's no place on the floor to place it, you might find the only way to put it somewhere is to suspend it from the ceiling. And here we've got a device suspended from the ceiling. If you suspend it this way, we want it in the general breathing zone, which is 6 to 8 feet off the floor. That seems pretty tall, but what we don't want to happen is it to be swinging in the air like that. These devices, as you'll see later, we don't want them in an airstream. We want them to be measuring still air. The longer this string is, the more it's going to tend to sway and whatever air currents are going on in the room. Now, exterior walls can be a problem. So in any exterior wall, most of the radon's entering at the perimeter of the room for many buildings. So we don't want to get exactly at the wall, and there's other reasons for not testing there. So if it's an exterior wall, we want to keep at least 12 inches away from that exterior wall. Now, we're going to say this is a window, just for examples purposes. This is an exterior wall with a window. Any exterior wall with an opening to the outside, like a door or a window or a mail slot or a coal chute or anything that's operable, we want to keep at least 3 feet from that. And that's because these can be leaky and that can bias our measurement. Now, for other objects, these devices are intended to measure still air around them, and that's the way they're calibrated. So they need to be kept at least 4 inches away from other objects. That's by EPA's protocol. Now, the manufacturer may alter that. Some manufacturers say you need to keep it 6 inches away, which is indeed at least 4 inches. But know the device and keep it away from other objects.